Welcome into the third edition of Cougar Insider. I'm Stephen Williams. We have plenty for you this week. 2 soccer victories, 2 cross-country wins, volleyball, and a huge week on the golf course. Let's get this week started with Lady Cougar Soccer. It was a 2-0 week over the last 7 days for the Lady Cougars as they were at home on Saturday hosting USC Aiken at a Peach Belt Conference action. Nicole Corsione got CSU on the board first, and right before halftime it was Mandy Janowitz that made it 2-0. After a Pacers goal in the second half cut it to 2-1, it was Shelby Rowling that put it away with her second goal of the season off a free kick to make it 3-1 and give CSU another conference victory. On Tuesday they went on the road to Anderson, South Carolina, where the Lady Cougars received a game-winning goal in the 89th minute from Courtney Jackway, the first goal of her career, giving them a 3-2 victory as Mandy Janowitz scored again in the first half for the Lady Cougars, and Taylor Marks also got the Lady Cougars on the board. Earlier, we had a chance to catch up with Lady Cougar forward Chelsea Pearson. Lady Cougar sophomore forward Chelsea Pearson with us as they get set for a couple more games this week. Chelsea, you look at it, you just come off a game at Anderson. You're about the halfway point. Where is this team at right now?
I think we're really kind of starting to get rolling with things. We've had some really good success, obviously, with the big one the other weekend, but we still have some things that we're working through and sorting out, and it's just a matter of continuing our momentum and being positive to keep things going.
You all came into the year losing a ton of seniors, a lot of new girls that had to step up and play. How has this team gelled, and where's the chemistry at right now?
I think it's cool because it's almost like you can look at it as a disadvantage in that, oh, you guys all have to come together really fast, or as an advantage that's literally a complete clean slate. I think it's cool how we've come together in such a positive way, and we continue to gel together. The more we practice, the more we play, we find those matchups that work really well.
With all the new girls, you went from being one of the younger ones last year without any experience. Now you're one of the experienced players. How has your role changed?
I think being one of the older players is just important that we make sure that everyone's on the same page. And it goes for me and anyone else who's the same age now, whether it be by circumstance or whatever, but that we make sure that we're serving the team, that we're keeping the environment positive, and we're really just encouraging everyone throughout practices and games.
4 goals for you last year. You've nearly matched that total so far this year. In what areas do you feel like you've improved?
We worked a lot in last spring, just on finishing and decision making, and I'd like to think maybe that's got a little better, but it's definitely still an area I'm working on and trying to improve. And like Jay says all the time, you're only as good as your last game, so it's just constantly trying to improve and be competitive with ourselves and then everyone else.
Over the course of the second half of the season, what are the most important areas for this team to get better at?
Definitely finishing off set pieces. It's going to be really crucial, especially as we get into tournament, things like that. And then also just making sure that we keep positive and that we're taking care of our bodies, trying to avoid injury. Of course, you go into those big games and you want to have depth on your bench, and having everyone understand that it takes the whole team. It's not just the 11 that are on the field, but for sure the 25 that make up the entire team.
You all have seen a lot of the teams in the country that people generally put at the top of the polls. 3 of them so far that were 1, 2, and 3 in the country. Where do you feel like you all stack up in that group?
We had a great match against Armstrong the other weekend, and we beat them, and that was very positive. And on the flip side, we lost to the number 1 and 2 teams the couple weeks before that. And I think we can match those teams and that we can have success against them. So I don't really think it's far-fetched to say, that we could compete in the national tournament, and obviously our end goal is to win a national championship. I don't think that's far-fetched at all.
Still a long way to go in this season. Best of luck.
Thank you.
The Cougar golf team hit the course this week for the first time on the year, playing in the Aflac Cougar Invitational. Mark Immelman's bunch started the season in fine fashion, capturing both the team and the individual win. The Cougars led throughout the entire tournament and finished as the only team under par. Cougar men's golf coach Mark Immelman with us as the Cougars wrap up a first-place finish at the Aflac Cougar Invitational. Coach, 2-day event, 3 rounds. Your team led wire to wire. Assess their performance.
I think more than anything else, I'm just excited with the quality of the performance. They did the right things. All the preparation they put in came to the fore, which I'm happy about. Because so often you can do the right things and it really doesn't work out for you, especially in a game like golf where you don't get to tackle the opponent so much. But I was proud of the boys. Today was a little bit of a struggle, so there's room for improvement for us, which excites me. And it's just so nice for us to get an individual victor. To win the team trophy and to win the individual title is very special on home soil.
Robert Mize takes the individual, a very strong final round for him. Talk about his performance today.
It makes me emotional because I've watched how much he's worked. He was a good young player at Brookstone, then he went off to Furman and transferred back, and he did the right things today, and he just kept putting himself in position. And he spoke to me behind the 11th green, and he's like, "Coach, I'm just not making any putts." And I said to him, "Don't worry, your chance will come. Just keep putting yourself in position." Then he had that big finish with the eagle back there on 17, pardon me. And then so my assessment is, we gauge ourselves by how we finish. So I gave him nothing but an A+ because he really finished with an exclamation point.
What kind of tone does this set? This very first tournament of the year, you come out and you win it.
It sets a big tone. I said earlier to someone, you can't win them all if you don't win the first. But to just be true to our goals, we set a goal of winning 5 times this year and winning other big events. And we certainly circled this one on our calendar. It's special to us. It's special because of the community and the sponsors and being at home. And so this one sets a tone, but more than anything else, I want the boys to now put this one in the back pocket and say, we've got this. We beat a quality field. We finished the event. And for us, the tone is more the fact that they know they can do it now.
Several more events for you all to go in the fall. What are those areas that you're looking to improve before you wrap up this semester?
I just think more emotional management. We're still a very young group of golfers. I've got like sophomores and juniors that are competing. So I think it's the management of the emotions and the understanding of the situation. And then just the ability to sort of pull yourself back to the present and not get too far ahead, which a couple of us did today. So it's not the physical. They've got the hands and feet thing worked out. It's just the head and the heart.
And Coach, a big start to the season. Congratulations.
Thanks, my friend. Appreciate you.
Thanks to a birdie on 16 and an eagle on 17 during the final round, redshirt sophomore Robert Mize earned his first career collegiate victory, shooting 6 under par for the tournament. Cougar golfer Robert Mize with us. Robert, you win the individual tournament. A very strong third round for you. How did you feel you played over the 2 days?
I played well. The first round I played pretty solid. Finished well. Kind of was a little shaky at the beginning, finished well. Second round, I complete opposite. I started well, finished bad. So kind of frustrated after yesterday, and knew I had to get in a good round today, and somehow pulled it off. Finished really well.
Coming down the stretch, you have any idea where you were?
I did actually. One of our players told me that the guy who's leading, I'd heard that he was 6 under. The guy who was leading after yesterday. And then one of the players told me he was at 5 when I was at 3, when I was 1 under. And I birdied 16 and then eagled 17, so I knew I was close. And then I didn't want to know on the last hole. I was just hoping it was enough.
How difficult is it to ride the emotions up and down where you're struggling, you're playing well, struggling, playing well, and trying to keep it composed?
Yeah, it's really difficult. It's tough because it was kind of a struggle this morning early. It's tough to stay patient. I was hitting really good shots and just not really making any putts. And just staying patient there, but I knew they were going to start falling. I still believed, and luckily just believed just enough.
Last year, a lot of seconds and thirds for you overall. Kind of a frustrating finish to the season. How big is it for the very first time this year to get in the win column?
It's huge, yeah. Especially the first tournament, just go ahead and win it. It's awesome. It was kind of the thing plaguing us last year. We had so many seconds, and it hurt our ranking because we didn't have everyone else in the top 10 had that win, or at least one win, and we didn't. And it's awesome. I'm more excited about that than the individual.
Well, a great day for you, an individual win and a team win. Congratulations.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks.
The Lady Cougar volleyball squad hosted the top 2 Peach Belt Conference teams from last season Friday and Saturday. After struggling in the first 2 sets against Armstrong, the Lady Cougars rebounded and won a long third set before dropping the 4th set and the match. On Saturday, Columbus State took the opening set from Flagler before losing the next 3. We caught up this week with Lady Cougar sophomore Cheyenne Swinson. Lady Cougar outside hitter Cheyenne Swinson joining us now about halfway through this season. Where is this team at right now?
Ever since Mego got hurt, we kind of, lost it for a minute, but I think we're getting back clicking, and I think we're about to come out big. So,
how is this team? You came together with 16 new girls this year, brand new start to a program. How have they come together chemistry-wise?
At first, it was harder because everybody's from everywhere, Lithuania, Serbia. I'm from Utah, and but I think all the culture that we're bringing in, everybody's learning new things, and we're enjoying it a lot more. So we're coming closer together.
With it being the first season, one of the things Casey Cornett talks about is the chip on the shoulder that you all have because teams don't know anything about you. How does that drive you all on a daily basis?
The chip on our shoulder it's to motivate us. Teams don't expect that we're going to be good at all, and we just want to come out and prove to them that they can't take us easily.
One of the things that you watch about this team, it's a little bit inconsistent, good at some times, and then it struggles at others. How do you go about fixing that?
Coach always says we have like an emotional roller coaster, and we just have to, if we mess up, we have to, shake it off and get back on the court and ready to go.
You've watched several of your matches, and it seems like a long run either by you all or by an opponent helps dictate how the match goes. What does a long run like that do to the mindset, whether you're on the good end or the bad end?
On the good end, we get amped up. We're ready to kill the next ball. But if we lose it, I know we notice like we kind of get down a little bit, and that's back to the emotional roller coaster. So we have to fix that.
How difficult is it to get out of one of those when you've lost 4, 5, 6, 7 points in a row?
Right now, it's a little bit harder, but like I said, we're about to come back. So I think we're rising to that, so we won't have that problem anymore.
As you look towards the second half of this season, what's the most important areas that you all have to fix going forward?
Our defense. I think we're going to have to work on our defense. We're getting better already, but Mago, our libero, got hurt, so we just got to find a new click and work with it.
Second half of the season, we're looking forward to it. Good luck.
Thank you.
JD Evilsizer's cross-country teams hit the course Saturday morning in Charlotte, North Carolina for the Charlotte Cross Country Invitational. Both the Cougars and Lady Cougars walked out victorious, winning the college division. For the women, it was their third victory in 3 meets this season, and the Lady Cougars are now ranked for the first time this year, coming in at number 23. Let's take a look at yet another busy schedule from the Cougars this week. Women's soccer takes the stage Thursday night as the Lady Cougars travel to Milledgeville for a Peach Belt Conference showdown with Georgia College beginning at 6 p.m. The ladies return home Saturday as they host Young Harris in the annual Kicks for a Cure game supporting breast cancer awareness. Saturday's match will start at 3 at the Walden Soccer Complex. Then they will close out the next 7 days with a road trip to Americus on Wednesday to take on Georgia Southwestern at 3 o'clock. Lady Cougar Volleyball hits the road this weekend for matchups against USC Aiken and Lander. CSU will take on USC Aiken Friday night at 7 and then head to Greenwood, South Carolina for a match with Lander Saturday at 2. The Lady Cougars are back at home on Wednesday as they will host Fort Valley State at 7 o'clock. Men's and women's cross country will look to continue their winning ways on Saturday morning as they compete in the JSU Gym of the Hills Invitational hosted by Jacksonville State University. The meet starts at 10 a.m. Finally, the men's golf team looks to make it a 2-for-2 start to the season in Destin, Florida at the Indian Bayou Classic Monday and Tuesday. That's your Cougar Insider for this week. Remember, you can catch live action of CSU home events online on Cougar Sports TV and check out CSUCougars.com for your daily updates from Columbus State Athletics. Until next week, I'm Stephen Williams.